Hello, friends. Let's start with one more topic, that is hedging using index futures. Now, this topic usually we have seen in investment planning specialist, another in integrated financial planning, and very common topic in CWM level 2. So that has been the reason I thought let's carry on derivatives to this segment as well. So first of all, to hedge using index futures, you have to have hedge ratio. So of course, all those things are very well given in the examination, but I thought it is very important that we get better hold on the concept. So first of all, I'm having a standard deviation of my portfolio. Another is standard deviation of index futures. So this thing is less known, definitely in these two communities, CFP and CWM. And also, I want the correlation between the portfolio and index futures. So using these things, I can find out the hedge ratio or in a way sensitivity. But usually in examination, they mention it as beta, right? But it is not exactly the beta that we see in the stock market. It is slightly different. So that is what I wanted to highlight. So I right now call it hedge ratio. It is also known as beta, but this beta or hedge ratio to be very precisely between the portfolio and index futures. So probably many of these students are coming across this thing for the first time. Oh, it is index future. We understood it is with only index. No, it is with index futures. So how to go ahead with that? So first I'll use the correlation between the portfolio and index futures and multiply with the standard deviation of the portfolio and standard deviation of index futures. So this is going to give me, so this typical equation is the same one we can use for beta as well, normal beta that we find out in our routine chapters. This hedge ratio. Having arrived at the hedge ratio, next thing I have to, because I'm hedging using futures. So futures are having a lot size. So that has been the reason. Now I'll find out number of contracts. This is actually not used in the examination, but this is like technically you should move on this way. So number of contracts is equal to value of your portfolio to be hedged divided by value of one future contract, and then multiply with hedge ratio, or simply say beta. So that will give you the number of contracts to be used for hedging. Now, how do you hedge? So usually in the examination, when I have to hedge the portfolio, so I'm long on portfolio. So naturally, I have to go short on index futures. Now, there is an interesting question which I've come across while teaching. Why do we use index futures? Because my portfolio is combination of different stocks, and individual stocks may or may not be in sufficient quantity so that it can be hedged in isolation. Also, uh, all the constituents of my portfolio need not have the futures available. So that has been the reason using index futures has always been the great idea. Now, the variability or the sensitivity of portfolio and index futures usually isn't same. So that has been the reason we have used the hedge ratio. So say for example, we have got 10 lakh worth of portfolio having beta, right? So that is the beta with index futures, and my portfolio is equal to 1.2. Then it is intuitively, I would be selling the 12 lakh worth of index futures, right? So this is my portfolio and this is the index futures. It's very important question, right? Now, how does it hedge? Now, hedging is multiple ways. So simply, how do I hedge? So one is partial hedge and another is complete hedge, right? So another is complete hedge. Now, when I'm hedging entire portfolio, so 10 lakh portfolio and selling 12 lakh future, so whatever be the variability, my net outcome is always zero. So this is the complete hedge. So let's get back to the question. So now, say for example, there is 10% change in index futures. or there's a 10% change in index, how much is the change in the value of it? So say for example, it falls down by, or index falls by, it falls by 10%. So since I've gone short, I'm long on portfolio, short on index. So 10% value here is equal to 1.2 lakh. But since I'm short and there is a decline, I'm at profit. So this is my gain. My stock is, or portfolio is 1.2 times sensitive to the index. So that means it is changing by 12% by the way. Since index has fallen by 10%, this will fall by 12%. And how much would I be losing? 1.2 lakh is my loss. So my net result of this change is zero. And this is an example of complete hedge. This is the example of complete hedge, right? Now, what about the another component? So what about another component? Partial hedge. So I'm not selling the number of contracts in that quantity which will make this situation zero, or which will bring the net to zero. I can use partial hedging, right? So that by partial hedging, I'm still open to the favorable moments and hedging only the partial thing, because hedging is also not cost free. So this is how I can answer the exam questions, and probably I've taken like you to some extra components so that you can understand what is happening here. So next one which I'm going to pick up is hedging using the options. This is also the one which has been used in both the curriculums. So stay tuned and let me know your doubts further. See you in the next video. Bye.